BlizzCon 2018. What an emotional roller coaster that was. Now, since I asked the question, a lot of people have been asking me to kind of put together my thoughts on BlizzCon 2018, and that's kind of exactly what I aim to do in this video. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Hi, Lord Fluffy, face of Diablo. I was curious.
Fluffy.
I was curious. I see a lot of mechanics that we've kind of been begging for in Diablo 3 in this. Is there any plans to make this playable on PC, or is this strictly mobile forever?
Are there any? The current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
So first and foremost, I kind of want to give some context to the question itself. So for you guys that don't know me, I'm Lord Fluffy. I'm a Diablo 3 streamer. I've been streaming Diablo almost exclusively since Season 3, Season 4. I've been playing Diablo 3 since vanilla without really ever taking a break. I have countless hours sunk into Diablo. I don't even want to look at the number. And ever since the release of the Necromancer pack, I've more or less been one of the top Diablo streamers for quite some time. Now, I actually had pretty low expectations going into BlizzCon for the Diablo franchise. Pretty much since Season 12, we haven't been seeing really any Diablo content. The most notable of those changes, however, has been the addition of themed seasons, which for you guys don't know, they basically just add a seasonal theme. It's been double goblins, double bounty mats. Nothing super innovative or game-changing. Pretty low-level changes that pretty much already existed in the game that didn't require any changes. And they did more or less hype us up, kind of right before the Round 3 of BlizzCon tickets went on sale. Brainy said this:
"We'd also like to let you know that the forges here at Blizzard are burning hot, and we have multiple Diablo projects in the works. Some of them are going to take longer than others, but we may have some things to show you later this year."
So of course, everyone thought that was going to be a Diablo 4 announcement. There's no one I met at BlizzCon back when that announcement was made that expected anything less than Diablo 4. But of course, as a lot of you guys know, a couple weeks ago, BlizzCon did kind of lower expectations and came out and said, "We know what many of you are hoping for, and good things come to those who wait, but evil things take often longer." So they're basically, in a nutshell, telling us, like, there's no chance you're getting Diablo 4. So if you guys, watch the podcast at all, going into it, I didn't really have the highest of expectations for the Diablo franchise. Obviously, a lot of people were hoping for Diablo 2 Remastered, and I thought that was in the realm of possibility. But of course, the one thing that didn't change after they lowered our expectations was the fact that Diablo, which we didn't know was Diablo Immortal yet, Diablo was following the opening ceremony. And historically, that has always meant that that game is getting the biggest announcement of the year, period. Historically, that's been 100% accurate every time. So, of course, everyone still had really, really high hopes. They were hoping for, D2 Remastered, hoping for Diablo 3 content, maybe an expansion or a character pack. And honestly, the community would joke about, Diablo BR or Diablo Mobile, but I'm not sure that anyone actually expected that to be the case. So, fast forward, it's BlizzCon day one. We finally get inside. Dropadooski, another Diablo streamer, actually saved us seats towards the front, so we had, really good spot. But, going into the day, I was a little bit sour already. People were tweeting at me like, "Hey, Fluff, what time are you going to stream at BlizzCon?" And I'm just kind of like, what are you talking about? And I guess that they had invited tons and tons of streamers to stream either, Diablo on Switch or Diablo Immortal. And, of course, I hadn't received any invites whatsoever. So I was a little sour already because I've been streaming this game for a really long time. I've been making guides for a really long time. I have a pretty decent amount of reach for Diablo, and to not really get an invite is kind of like a really feels bad moment, especially considering they invited a lot of streamers that really have nothing to do with Diablo at all to stream the game. So I was already feeling kind of salty walking in, but I still had like really, really high hopes, and I was really excited about, the future of Diablo and what we could expect, because again, most of us were expecting a really big announcement because it is the first game after the opening ceremony. So we're kind of hyped up. We're sitting there. the classic game team comes out. And so this would be the team that you're expecting the Diablo 2 remastered announcement to come from. And he was so vague leading up to the trailer.
I am honored to present the return of another Titan.
Diablo 2, right?
We never paid any heed.
So immediately when I see this, I'm not a huge Blizzard fanboy. I really don't play any game besides Diablo. And I see this and I'm like, I don't really know what's going on here. Like, what is that? Like, I'm thinking the banners that they have in Diablo. That's the first thing that came to my head. And then the voice kicks on, right? The voice actor from Diablo 2. The dude in the prison cell. So I'm like, oh, fuck. Here we go, boys. D2 remastered. And then it keeps going, right? And you see, like, the orc and the dude fighting. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, is that a paladin? What's going on? Why would orcs be in Diablo remastered? And then this dude pops up. Obviously, that's Warcraft. And I'm like, man, damn it. So immediately I'm thinking, okay, they're not going to remaster 2 games in 1 year. So Diablo 2 remastered is absolutely out of the window. But at the same time, I'm like, holy shit. Like, there's still going to be a huge announcement coming for Diablo. And really the only thing that's left is Diablo 3. And honestly, as a Diablo 3 player, that was the one thing I wanted more than anything. Like, Diablo 4 is a certainty. It's going to happen. It doesn't really matter when for me. It's so far down the road that I can't even, like, think about it. Diablo 2 Remastered would have been really cool. But honestly, the game I play almost every day is Diablo 3. So the content I want the most is Diablo 3. And so I'm like, wow, we might actually get a full-fledged Diablo 3 expansion. I can't believe it. I'm actually even more hyped after seeing the Warcraft 3 Reforged than I was before. So then it's Diablo's moment, right? Wyatt Chang comes up on stage. And honestly, before BlizzCon, I mean, I had really no idea that Wyatt Chang even still worked for Diablo or Blizzard. Because honestly, I haven't seen Wyatt Chang since, like, Quinn did an interview with him like 2-3 years ago at a BlizzCon. I haven't seen him since. So I'm like, okay, he's been working on something juicy. So he comes on, and this is kind of all of us reacting to what happens next.
BlizzCon, we love Diablo.
So I'm psyched, right? He's like, we love Diablo. I'm like, do you guys really love Diablo? Because I love Diablo, right? But I'm like, I'm all smiles, right? Because I'm honestly thinking Diablo 3 expansion. This has to be big.
Diablo has brought millions of players around the world together to slay demons. Our modern world is an increasingly connected one. Our mobile devices keep us closer than ever to our friends.
Right there, I mean, Dusky already knows. Dukey's like, it's fucking mobile, dudes. And, like, it felt so unreal, right? Because this is not what anyone wanted at all. I was totally and completely blindsided by this. We would joke about a Diablo BR. We would joke about Diablo Mobile. No one expected it. Like, no one wanted it. So I was just like, I mean, you can see, like, the
friends,
death of emotion.
And loved ones. So we knew we want to use mobile devices as the platform for a new Diablo game. Because nothing brings a family together like slaying demons.
Just defeated.
Epic BlizzCon.
That's a defeated man. That is a defeated man right there. The game I've been playing since vanilla, the game I've been playing for like the last year without any changes besides like tiny little seasonal themes, is getting nothing. We're getting a mobile game that no one really wanted, absolutely no one asked for. And so, like, the things that are going through my head is just like, as a Diablo streamer, like, what do I do? Like, are we still going to play rat runs for another year or more? Because this mobile game was obviously in very early stages of development. So that's not going to be ready for at least a year or more, unless this, Chinese company is like amazing at pushing out code. And so I'm like, what do we do now? Like, what's there to look forward to now? So I'm super livid. Like, I am just like, I'm almost trembling. And people are always like, oh man, you look like you're about ready to cry in the video. Honestly, I'm like trembling from rage. Like, I am just so pissed off. I didn't want to just immediately jump on the salt train and be like, fuck you guys. Fuck your stupid game. And I wanted to be open-minded because I'm not a journalist by any means. I'm a Diablo streamer. I'm a Diablo content creator. But I wanted to keep an open mind for the people that might still be interested in this game. So then they get to the Diablo Q&A, right? And I really didn't even have an idea of what I wanted to ask. I just knew I wanted to be up there and I wanted to ask him something. And I wanted to ask him something that would kind of portray how the PC people felt. Basically everyone at Blizzcon felt about this game. But even in my own head, I'm thinking like, should I say something just like completely rude? Should I be a dick? I'm sure the exact same thing that the red shirt guy was thinking in his head. Should I stick to the question that I told Brandy I was going to ask? Or should I completely go off the road and really tell him how I feel? But again, the interest of being open-minded and, not burning my bridges kind of really took over. And, I ended up sticking to the question I originally wanted to ask. And all my question was, obviously I love Diablo on PC. Diablo is meant for PC, and that's just plain and simple. It's always been on PC. To me, it's not really meant for other platforms. I don't like Diablo on console. I'm not excited about Diablo on Switch at all. I played it while I was there, and I was like, gross. But if that's your thing, I'm not shitting on it. I really wanted it to be able to play a new Diablo game on the platform that I wanted to play it on.
Hi, Lord Fluffy, face of Diablo.
Of course, I had to make the joke.
I was curious. I see a lot of mechanics that we've kind of been begging for in Diablo 3.
And so, first I didn't ask. First I said, okay, I see a lot of elements that we've been begging for in Diablo 3, and that's totally true. Something like ground effects, so very much so in the demo, like when a mob was casting something that you shouldn't be in, you would get kind of a notification on the ground of, hey, like, don't stand in this. And that's something that, people have been really wanting in Diablo 3. There's a lot of mechanics in Diablo 3 that there's really no way to avoid them or no real way to know that they're coming. And that it feels bad, it plays bad, it's bad design. And so that's one of the things I was talking about. And the other thing I was talking about is like more involved skill mechanics. So like in the demo, you would cast Meteor and it would bring up your AoE radius, how far away you could cast Meteor. And then within that, you would have like a smaller circle to kind of pick exactly where you wanted that meteor to fall. And I think something like that in Diablo would be amazing. So imagine, if you will, not only you have to put like your set together, your build together, min-max your stats, get augmented and stuff like that, but you actually have to aim your skills. And you have to aim some skills, but not all of them. This is just a bit more skill-based. It felt a lot more like a MOBA game where you really have to like time your skills to get like maximum effectiveness out of them and stuff like that. And that was something that I thought would be really cool. And you see a lot of that from like Lost Ark, Lineage Eternal. You see like there's this new like swipe mechanic where like you swipe your mouse and like a firewall will pop up where you swiped, and just like really cool skill features like that. And that's what I meant when I first said what I said. But then I go on, and again, my voice is kind of trembling. And it's not because I'm nervous, because I don't have a problem talking in front of people. But like I was so upset. I was so mad that I was really like just doing what I could. Because in my head, I'm like I want to say a lot worse, but I'm not gonna.
Is there any plans to make this playable on PC, or is this strictly mobile forever?
Are there any? Yeah.
And I didn't really have to add the forever. That was kind of like my attempt, I guess, at a jab. It's like strictly mobile forever. I don't want to be a total dick, but I wanted to absolutely portray how disappointed I was and how disappointed I think I felt that everyone was. And you guys have to keep in mind, when I went up there to ask my question, I didn't think it would get the reaction that it did. I didn't think that people would actually boo. I didn't expect that whatsoever. So I didn't go up there with the intention or the negative intention of causing controversy or any kind of uproar. I just wanted to ask a question that I was genuinely curious about, because I know like emulators exist, but it's not like a true official experience. So I was really genuinely curious if this would ever be brought to PC in like a very official kind of way, because it's just a platform I want to play it on. It's a platform that everyone at BlizzCon wanted to play on. So I mean, the question came from a good place, and I tried to be as non-negative as I could possibly be.
The current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC.
So, the boo happened, which I didn't really expect. And I'm kind of glad they didn't clip the camera back to me, because like I was, you look at my face.
PC, or is this strictly mobile forever?
I'm not a happy dude. And it's kind of funny too, because Zanji, a former Diablo streamer, he was kind of like in the control center. And like, so they had a camera pointed at me. They had a camera pointed at Wyatt Chang. So he could see both feeds. And he was like, he just looked pissed off. And in his head, he's like, Fluff, don't ask the question. Don't do it. So I'm glad they didn't point it back to me, because I didn't look super, super happy.
Are there any, the current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah.
So you can already see I'm walking away. Like, I didn't even like stick around. I just walked away. I was just like, whatever, man. Cool. But I in no way triggered them to say what they said. Like that.
Are there any,
it's tough to watch.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Probably not the best reaction. I don't know, like, so a lot of people that saw this video were like, oh my God, he's talking to me, right? A lot of people made the reference to, like, imagine if, like, Asmongold, a WoW player, went up and asked a WoW question, and, like, they told him, like, can't you run this game or something on your machine? And people would be like, people go crazy. But Wyatt wasn't talking to me. Like, he was addressing the people that were booing. Like, a very generalized statement. The problem is that this didn't come off very well. It wasn't well received. And, of course, it has become a meme on the internet. Now, of course, as you guys saw, after the announcement was made, it was very quiet. Like, it was dead quiet. There's no, like, woo! Like, people excited. There's really not a lot. There's a lot of stirring, but not, like, in a positive, I'm so excited kind of way. More of, like, everyone's kind of, like, uneasy, right? And, of course, the infamous red shirt guy goes up there, and he kind of just says exactly what's on his mind.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
No,
it's so hard to watch. It makes me so uncomfortable. But it's not necessarily an unfair question. And it's certainly something I struggled with, when I was in line. So what happened was that someone would ask you what your question is. They would do their best to answer it. Or if they didn't like it, they'd make you step out of line. So he obviously didn't tell them that was the question that he was going to ask. And I did tell Brandy, who's on my side of the stadium. I told her, like, I was going to ask if it's going to be multi-platform. And Brandy was like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be mobile only. But if you want to ask your question anyways, or if you want to let my answer shape what you're going to ask, go right ahead. Like, she didn't say, get out of line, get the heck out of here, Fluff. And I'm actually kind of surprised, because a lot of you guys might not know my channel or follow my stream, but I'm not necessarily known for withholding my opinion, and I'm not necessarily known for candy coating things. So I was actually somewhat genuinely surprised that they didn't pull me out of line, but at the same time, I was, very happy they didn't. Red shirt guy asked his question, and at this point, like, I'm already kind of leaving, but I heard him say it, and I heard the crowd's reaction, and I was just like, oh man, like, what a disaster. What a total disaster. And so, of course, immediately after this, people are going crazy on Twitter. People are going crazy on Reddit. People are going crazy on YouTube. Now, of course, I don't have to tell you guys, those of you who were home during this whole thing, a lot of streamers were, in uproar. And obviously, YouTube was in uproar. The amount of dislikes this thing has is absolutely insane. I think I saw a post that said something around 600,000 dislikes were in total. They're also deleting negative comments. Those of you that stream or have been on twitch.tv knows that deleting or banning people, it really only kind of empowers them or infuriates them even more. So, of course, people are going to come back and continue to downvote, maybe even make alternate accounts, continue to downvote, post negative comments, keep coming back to find new ways of posting negative comments, VPN to post negative comments. So it's a really, really poor business decision. Yeah, people are going to downvote it. Like, there's nothing you can do about it, man. Like, just let it go. Now, one of the things that we talked about a lot the day that it happened was, had they released something else alongside Diablo Immortal, do you think it would have been better received? And the results seem to be kind of overwhelmingly yes. Most people tend to think that if they said, okay, D2 remastered, plus we've got this new thing on the side, to do alongside D2 remastered, or imagine they had Diablo 3 content like a character pack or an fully fledged expansion, and then they're like, hey, on the side, we've got Diablo Immortal, a new mobile game. People would have been infinitely more receptive. But the fact of the matter is, this is all we got. This is all we got, and this is what no one wanted. Obviously, the community is going to be super, super upset. And they were, man. And I have never been to a BlizzCon before, so I didn't really know that, like, booing, like, just doesn't ever happen at a BlizzCon, which is kind of crazy to me. And the thing that just confuses the crap out of me is, like, Diablo Immortal is nowhere close to being done. So why even announce it? Why not rearrange the schedule, right? Like, you don't have to keep Diablo in the top spot, especially after you made your announcement, said, hey, pump the brakes on your expectations for Diablo this year. Why wouldn't you just rearrange the schedule to, like, reflect that? Why would you keep Diablo in that top spot? Only to release a mobile game that's not even going to be ready for a long time to come. Now, on another, like, this was particularly hard to watch because, like, Wyatt Chang is a particularly nice guy. He actually personally reached out to me before BlizzCon, made sure I was invited to, like, the community event that happens the night before for content creators. Went out of his way to tell me he was a big fan of the podcast that we do, big fan of the stream. And throughout BlizzCon, I was given numerous opportunities to sit down and talk with Wyatt Chang. So I can't help feel bad for him because, like, one, he's a super, super nice guy. And two, I don't really know that, all of this decision-making and making the Diablo Immortal announcement at BlizzCon, we don't even know that was really up to him. You know what I mean? So it's like, if it was, like, yeah, I guess he kind of deserves the backlash that he got-ish. But if it's not, it kind of sucks, right? Now, all that being said, I don't really want to cover my thoughts on Diablo Immortal in this video. I actually played Diablo Immortal. I would guess more than anyone probably did at BlizzCon. I went to the line, like, a bazillion times. I played through every character class 4 or 5 times, full clears, taking as much time as I possibly could on each character, and then even going further to try to, like, grind gear and find bugs. And I was often found myself just standing there for like 30 minutes and no one else came through the line, because I really wanted to give it a fair chance and really cover it for you guys. So I plan on doing that in a future video and really going in depth into, like, my thoughts on the game, how it played, and even some insider information that I might have been able to have access to from either playing it for a really long time and, of course, having conversations with people that work at Blizzard. So we're going to do that in a future date. I also actually had the opportunity to sit down with Red Shirt Guy himself on stream yesterday, and of course we'll be uploading that video as well. Currently it's muted for some reason. I'm in talks with Twitch to try to get it unmuted so that I can pull it down and put it up on YouTube for you guys. But we'll upload that as soon as we can. I just wanted to kind of express and share with you guys, what was going through my head, what was the feel at the BlizzCon itself, how were people reacting. And of course, I'm going to give a full review on Diablo Immortal in an upcoming video that will be posted to my channel as soon as possible. Of course, if you guys want to see more, head on over to my Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv, Lord_Fluffy. Subscribe on YouTube. We do a podcast every Tuesday, a Diablo podcast every Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys want to see more Diablo content, stick around. It's coming. But as always, guys, like, subscribe, come over to Twitch, ask your questions. I love you guys. Peace out.